It's 7 o'clock, February 26th, our planning board meeting. Just online, please just make sure you're muted until you're called upon for the meeting. I appreciate it. Just calling this meeting to order. The meeting minutes did not make it out for distribution, if you were wondering. So we're going to table voting on the minutes from the last meeting till the next meeting. We'll send those out. Other business, there was a work session on this last Tuesday, but there are no attendees. And the next work session planned for 2 weeks. Nobody scheduled it.
There was no scheduled applicant.
Okay. Very good. I just also wanted to mention that Sarah is on tonight, sitting in as a voting member as an alternate since we had to move around, but I'm chairing tonight for Nate. So, and also on the agenda order, we're going to move the zoning code update discussion to number 6, right after the final presentations of the final applicants, just to kind of expedite our. Please mute. Okay. With that, let's get started. Up first tonight for final presentation is Sunoco Signs. Can you remind us of your name?
Hi, my name is Karen Greenlee, and I'm here for ProScience / Sunoco. And this is our project at 6325 Thompson Road.
Very good.
I did bring a thumb drive. Any usage didn't need it. Is that still the case?
That is good.
Okay, I made it, so I figured.
So there was quite a bit of discussion. I thought good discussion at our last meeting, and
Yes.
you've made some updates to the canopy and to the pumps themselves. Could you just a real quick review what's
Of course. So we're proposing this update to the station to be the new Sunoco image. So we scrolled right past the freestanding sign with the pricer. That's not changing from what we originally proposed, so that's still the same. But for the canopy, we deleted the diamond logo, and we're going to go with the no billboard mark and arrow along Thompson Road, the one that's fronting the larger side of the canopy right in the front there. And then we're going to have the fascia lit on all 4 sides per your suggestion, so that it is even and looks nice from every angle. And so those are the changes that we made for the canopy. And then if you wanted to just go another page down, so these are the new elevations. So we took everything is now dimensional and illuminated on all 4 sides, and then we took the diamond logo down. And then if you want to scroll just a little bit further, because the last part was just a few more pages. The last part was the changes to the pumps. So if this one right here, so we'll no longer have the logos on the side balances or the lower doors. And please excuse my horrible Photoshop skills. So don't pay too much attention to that. But we are going to keep these diamond logos on the front balances. And per your request, this is the total square footage for it. It's 13.16 square foot over all of the pumps on both sides.
okay.
And I think those were the changes that we made that we discussed.
That's what I recall too. I think the departments looked at it and it's in order. Does anybody from the board have any questions on this? I think it's also in order. Okay, so I have a resolution I'm going to read. And
Okay.
we'll vote on it.
Should I just sit down or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's up to you. So this is a motion to approve the amended multi-tenant sign package dated 9/4/2025 with the following findings and conditions. There's an existing site plan approval for this site and use dated March 27th, 2025, and an amendment to the site plan dated 8/27/2025. Applicant has requested modifications to that approval only with respect to the multi-tenant sign package and to update the Sunoco signage. This project is exempt from OCP review. This board has reviewed the SEAF of the applicant received on 12/8/2025 and grants a negative secret declaration for this unlisted action. This approval is made with the condition that, except for as specifically modified herein, the planning board approval of March 27th, 2025 and 8/27/2025 are in full force and effect, including all findings and conditions therein, and with the following additional condition that the applicant remains responsible for obtaining any building permits or other permits from the town or regulatory agencies as may be required for the improvements and or the site plan work approved in this site plan approval. Did we put a date of these documents in the resolution?
Dated.
Yeah, what's the date on?
So there's actually probably a couple because it's a combined
Right.
PDF with the architects.
But since you did yours, I believe your project date was September 4th.
Right, so that is the original drawing date on all of the total imaging pages. And then I don't remember
Right,
when
there
I
was
sent them
another
to you.
applicant that we had previously done this. This is an amendment to that multi-tenant sign plan.
But this is a full package anyway.
Right, this one
And what they-
combines that. So hers is dated September.
September 4th.
With all the revisions we're talking about, they're all captured in documents dated September 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
It was, so it was replaced.
but I don't know if there's a date
It
on
was replaced.
I just don't know if there's a date on the architect's drawings because those didn't come from her.
Right, that's,
Okay,
So when they come in to be signed, we'll just. We have the correct ones, they're the last ones that were loaded to Civic.
I think that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
to make sure it's consistent.
Yes.
Okay, that's the motion. Do I have a motion, I should say? Jenny, a second? Bill, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. I did apply for a sign permit, which is what was the impetus to all of this. So I guess I can just call the building department and say to revise or however they want me to resubmit it.
yes, if we still have it as an open application, I'm not sure on their end how it is.
It's just been a while, so I wasn't sure if you would just,
Original plans.
they did have the original plans that were rejected after our
Yeah, so
meeting
if you
here.
just send the new plans and if any of the documents need to be updated, we can get that done.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Saab signage. Is there an applicant here? Very good. I understand that the zoning, the ZBA has approved that.
They have, yeah.
Your variance request,
Yeah.
so sorry, could you state your name?
Anthony DeBerno with Victory Sign.
Victor Science. Okay, just again, a real quick overview.
Yeah, picture, sure. So we're proposing a sign to go onto the front of the building. Do you have a layout for that? This is the sign. It's gonna go over the entrance. It's a channel letter sign. It is in compliance with code for square footage, style of sign. The reason why we had to go to the ZBA is because this portion of the building doesn't face the main road.
The main room.
So basically, a sign on the side of the building is allowed. Now we're putting it on the front of the building. That's what we're doing.
Very good. I think this is a pretty straightforward one. Okay, I am going to read a motion for approval. A motion to approve the Saab signage as set forth in the site plan received on 12/16/2026, made by Victory Sign / Sky Taylor and entitled Saab Technologies Exterior Building Signage, labeled with a project start date of 9/8/2025, with the following findings and conditions. This board made a recommendation to ZBA regarding a variance for the placement of signage in the location as shown on the above mentioned plan, and the ZBA granted that variance at its February 17th, 2026 zoning board meeting. This board has reviewed the OCP referral of February 18th, 2026, which determined that said referral will have no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications. This board has reviewed the SEAF of the applicant received on 12/16/2026 and grants a negative secret declaration for this unlisted action. With conditions, this approval supplements the prior site plan approval granted by this board for this site and is not intended to modify or substitute any other prior approvals or site plans except as specifically shown herein as relates to the sign approved. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for the certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials in the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to site plan review pursuant to the Town of DeWitt Code Section 192-122. The applicant remains responsible for obtaining any building permits or other permits from the town or regulatory agencies as may be required for the improvements and or the site plan work approved in the site plan approval. Do I have a motion? Randy, do I have a second? Jenny, all in favor?
Next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Put along here. Next on our agenda is Sunrise Building Supply on Court Street. Who's the applicant here tonight?
Yeah, you got Michael LaSalle with MBL Engineering, and also the owner Joe is on.
Very good. You're on tonight. We're looking for final approval. Can you again give us just a quick rundown of the changes in the
Yep.
scope?
The last time I think we addressed all the comments, there was just one more discussion point in regards to the dumpster location and whether it be screened or put behind the building. And so we did revise the drawings and get them back to you guys to show the dumpsters with a note that they have to remain behind the building at all times. So we're removing those where they used to be and showing them behind the building somewhere. We show them on that corner, which is completely hidden from the road anywhere along that back building. So we did get that drawing revised, and that's what you're looking at here. So that was really the only change from last time. Yeah, and we got rid of the vinyl slats in the fence. Sorry.
And I think one of the other talking points was the required parking. So just given the intensity of use, the lack of intensity of use, there's reserved parking now part of the application. So
yeah,
right, yeah, everyone's comfortable with that. Okay, are there any questions? Second question. In the department, everyone's okay? Okay. We're moving along. So we're ready to approve. We have a motion to approve the site plan dated 12/15/2025 and last updated 2/13/2026. Is that the right date? Yep. Okay. Including the following drawings: drawing C101, 102, 103, 104, and 501, including architectural plans last updated January 28, 2026, being drawings A1, A2, and A5, and lighting cut sheets by McGraw Edison with the following findings and conditions. This applicant has presented a project for building and site modifications and additions in an industrial zoning district. Further, this board finds that the applicant has shown that the use does not require the number of parking spaces required for such use, and upon such a finding, this board, by code, may place parking spaces in reserve. Accordingly, this board finds that the required number of parking spaces of 44 spaces are met by 33 spaces being shown on the site, and 25 of those required spaces, 11 spaces, are permitted to be set in reserve. The reserve spaces are in the area of the site plan marked parking reserve area. This project is exempt from OCPB referral. This board has reviewed the SEF of the applicant dated 12/15/2025 and grants a negative secret declaration for this unlisted action. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant, and requires that all the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the Town of DeWitt Code Section 192-122. The applicant remains responsible for obtaining any building permits or other permits from the town or regulatory agencies as may be required for the improvements and or site plan work approved in this site plan approval. I'll make a motion. Is there a second? Kathy, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's my.
Okay. Okay, next, we have Dunwilla Wealth Management, looking for final approval tonight.
Vincent Ryan, Capital Jeffrey Associates, here with Anthony Rojas, the architect. We received comments. We also have the architectural samples. If they can review with the others, but if anybody wants to look at anything I have here. It's been a while since we were before you, prior to the holiday. It took us a while to get the survey done, but after that was completed, we responded to comments from Mark and the planning department and resubmitted at the beginning of February. Not much has changed from your initial thing outside the comments that were provided to us. Building remains in the same place. Utilities have been addressed. Some things have been moved around. Planting plan has been pulled along. And that's broad overstroke. Anything else?
We talked about this the other day with the sidewalk, right?
Yep. So
yes.
the sidewalk was shown.
Sidewalk was previously shown. It's been removed when the intent is to get the building underway and then decide if they want that cross connection. And under that, we'll come back for site plan revision and include that and get an easement between the two properties if needed. Well, will be needed, but will be needed. Right, take care of it.
That has been removed from the
It's
document.
not shown on the site plan. Sidewalk was here. It's been removed. The extra concrete you're seeing there is for the bike rack that was brought up.
Could you just go to the elevations? Yeah, it's a nice project. Anybody have any questions? I certainly don't. Yeah.
It's good. Placement's good.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. And from the department and
We're good.
I was just gonna say they've done the monument sign. I don't know if we really looked at that. It meets code. At the end of this.
is it illuminated? I believe it's a reverse lit.
Yeah, Anthony can answer that better than I can.
Yes, they're backlit letters that'll be on standoffs, individual letters.
Okay. And what's the height?
5 feet,
5 feet?
which is the max of what's
Which is
allowed.
max of
with
what's
the
allowed.
19.
Yes, I believe the top is 5 feet. We might have another drawing that has the actual dimensions on them.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, this addition though it is noted where it's located on the site plan.
Yes. Yep. I just don't think the board has seen the design of it before, but it all meets code. It's shown on the site plan.
Okay. I don't have any questions, so. Actually, maybe you could just show me where it is on the site plan.
Yep.
So I could say.
Off to the side here. Originally we had a little lower, but because of the there was a sanitary easement that ran through everything with the signage up.
facing, the signage facing
Eli and Genesee.
Genesee. Okay. Okay, then I am going to read a motion for approval. This is for 6875 East Genesee Street. Motion to approve the site plan dated October 9th, 2025, and last updated February 19th, 2026, including the following drawings: L100, 200, 300, 301, 400, and 401, including lighting cut sheets and architectural monument sign package dated February 12th, 2026, with following findings and conditions. This applicant has presented a project for an office building which is compatible with the neighborhood and area and conforms with the design guidelines. This board has reviewed the OCPB referral of September 24th, 2025, which determines that said referral will have no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications. This board has reviewed the SEAF of applicant dated August 27th, 2025, and grants a negative secret declaration for this unlisted action. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant. Requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for the certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials on the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the Town of Code Section 192-172. The applicant remains responsible for obtaining any building permits or other permits from the town or regulatory agencies as may be required for improvements and or site plan work approved in the site plan approval. Do I have a motion? Bill, second? Danny, all in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Anthony.
Okay, next on the agenda is Presentation Concepts Corporation. Hello.
Hello. My name is James Owen. I'm presenting the project location is 6006 Trot Drive. Project is an existing property with a 7,000 square foot building that has warehouse and office space. Improvements that are proposed are a new dumpster corral at the rear of the building. We're also delineating the parking spaces, restriping in the front and on the side and at the back of the building. We are going to be doing new landscaping, replacing what's there and expanding it somewhat down the south side of the building. Over along the side here. And then on the south side of the property, there's some existing asphalt parking that extends over the property line between the two buildings. So we'll remove our portion of that asphalt parking and infill that with a new lawn area. And then just kind of straighten up that asphalt line so the driveway continues around the south side of the building to the rear. The other improvement is we'll be adding a section of fence on the back parking lot. Currently, that's a continuous asphalt between the 6006 building and the building to the south here, lot 9. And so we're going to put up a chain link fence that'll be consistent with what's there now surrounding the property. And then the modification, well, there's a slide gate currently that separates, yep, right there, that will, it currently slides to the right or to the south. We're going to reverse that so that it slides back on into the property, neighboring property.
Thank you for adding some annotations to that turning. What is the final dimension?
I think we're 20'8", or yeah, 20'8" is the width across there.
And is the storage that's shown in the image there, is that your storage? The containers, bottom right?
Oh, on the satellite view, that's not there now, that's an older version, but that's on the neighbor's property
Okay.
to the south, yeah.
The two dumpster location or the dumpsters themselves are now enclosed.
Yes, the 6 foot chain link fence. They'll have two containers in there, one for recycling and one for regular trash. And there's a double 6 foot gate, so 12 foot opening on either half.
The backfilling that you're gonna do with the lawn area, is that soil or?
Yeah, it would just be topsoil and then seed, yeah, just to kind of blend in with the surrounding lawn area.
You guys, any questions or follow-ups? Done? Mark's good too. Okay. There's no other questions. We have a motion for approval tonight. This is a motion to approve the site plan. Last dated February 20th, 2026, and architectural plans last updated on December 11th, 2025, with the following findings and conditions. The applicant has presented a plan for minor improvements to the site and the building in the industrial zone district. This board has reviewed the OCPB administrative review dated January 22nd, 2026, wherein OCPB took no position. This board has reviewed the SEAF of the applicant dated January 8th, 2026, and grants a negative secret declaration for this unlisted action. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant. Requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to the Town of DeWitt Code Section 192-122. The applicant remains responsible for obtaining any building permits or other permits from the town or regulatory agencies as may be required for the improvements and or site plan work approved in this site plan approval. Do I have a motion? Sarah? And you second? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. We have, we've made it through our final approvals. Like I mentioned, I just moved up the zoning code update recommendation that's on the agenda for tonight. This is in regard to the proposed zoning changes in the high-tech district. Do you want to facilitate a quick discussion? Yeah.
So this is a proposed zoning modification.
Miss one? Oh, I'm sorry.
The agenda, hold 1 second. What about sunrise?
We did it. Yeah, we did that one.
Oh, before.
That's out of order.
Sorry. Yeah.
So this is a recommendation to the town board for proposed code updates. It would add 2 new uses, wholesale retail club and accessory gas pumps. Wholesale retail clubs would be allowed in high-tech, business, and industrial districts. And each of those districts, accessory gas pumps would be allowed as a specific use permit use associated with the wholesale retail clubs. This is similar to what we did a few months ago, adding the grocery store use, some shopping center use, where we're differentiating some retail uses that are a little bit different than others. So we provide definitions for gas pumps, accessory, and wholesale retail club, and then add several for accessory gas pumps, several general requirements, similar to what we do with gas stations, but basically the accessory gas pump would only be allowed as an accessory to a wholesale retail club. So it would be just an accessory use.
So the town board sent, had a piece of legislation that they've referred to this board. And this is really the first time that this board has had the opportunity to look at it, so we want to have a discussion. But we're going to hold it to the next meeting and not vote on it tonight because there are probably some, after discussion, some changes. I did receive some comments from when this was distributed and posted. So I wanted to maybe talk about the definition for starters, because the definition of the wholesale retail club is really what's going to drive this. And like Alana said, this is sort of a continuation of, there's different, like, not all retail's the same. I mean, and the board actually was looking at this wholesale retail club issue at the same time they were looking at the grocery store use, but it really wasn't ready because it was a little more complex. So this has been worked on by a committee of the town board, and Nate was on the committee as well, representing the planning board, and this is sort of what came out of it. So the wholesale retail club is intended to be defined as a single freestanding building. And it's a type of retail store, and retail store is defined in our code. So that's capitalized. Importantly, it's going to be exceeding 150,000 square feet in gross floor area. I think we had talked about the 150,000. The wording of gross floor area is what was recommended as a change, just better wording. But it's not just that, right? So a wholesale retail club, and to be clear, I think we know what we're talking, or people know what we're trying to get at, right? It's like a BJ's, a Sam's Club, a Costco. I mean, maybe there's more. Those are the only ones I know about. That operates exclusively on a membership basis, allowing only members to purchase services and also goods and food items in bulk quantity. So this is another change where we added goods, because I think we just had, I can't remember if we had goods or whatever we had, but goods and food, because we do have food, right? We're trying to be specific, but it's not a grocery store, right? But it's a different thing. And that the items are in bulk quantity and or at wholesale packaging and pricing, and within a warehouse style format. So a regular grocery store would likely not fit in this. There's a lot of limitations that are in this definition. So I just wanted to kind of put that up for discussion. If anyone has any comments on that.
I guess just as a benchmark, 150,000 gross square feet, how does that compare to existing to BJ's or existing stores near us? Just relative. How big are those?
Alana, I think we had sort of
It's probably comparable.
I'm just curious.
like a BJ's.
Everything else.
But we can get you that information so you can know.
When I think about some of those stores, they also have like garages attached to them for like oil changes and stuff.
So,
Certain things.
well, that gets into this thing about the gas pumps, right? So.
And services.
And services.
Yeah.
BJ's in East Syracuse is 147,000 square feet.
Yes. That's close enough.
It's close.
Well, if we get to gas pumps accessory, because that maybe we should move to that. because it all feeds into it, but basically, it does say it's not a vehicle service station or garage, and it's not a public or commercial garage. So it basically excludes those from the definition.
I think about like, one of them that's on 31. I just know they sell tires and they do that at the place also. So this one that we're allowed, like what we're saying in our definition wouldn't allow that. I'm just.
Well, let me ask you this, is that a problem? I don't know.
It's in the store now. Yeah, it's in the store. Yeah. It's not outside. It's not.
It's separate.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was right attached.
Well, if
At
the
the
building
back.
is attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't go through the store to get to it.
Oh, okay.
It's a separate entrance, but I bought tires there and they also put them on too.
Is that? So we're talking about this being a special use permit, specific use permit, we call it here.
So that wouldn't be the accessory use, that would be the main,
It would be part of the main
Yeah.
warehouse
Yeah.
building.
It would be
And, you
one
know,
of the services. Yeah, okay,
that would fall under the warehouse style format, I think.
okay.
Does everyone agree with that? Is that,
Yeah, that's.
is that an issue? Again, I'm just trying to facilitate this.
No, I just thought
Yeah,
about
that's
garage.
under services.
Okay, yeah, and I just wanted to know if that was,
But it's not going to be, it's all part of it, then it's not gonna be an accessory
Right.
building, it's not
Right,
gonna be
it's
an
a-
accessory use, because it's
Right.
a single freestanding.
Yeah.
Building.
Would that use have been allowed in high tech by itself,
Retail is. allowed in
Probably
high-
yes.
but a repair garage?
Well, just a repair garage by itself, or as part of a retail use?
It's an interesting, you know, so
Those are
it's
two separate things.
an interesting animal, right? So we're trying to
And that's part of the reason.
define this
doing this.
use.
Well, how would we define the use of an Aldi's, which is kind of a hybrid to a store
Well,
and a
first of all,
grocery store?
I don't think they're usually 150,000 square feet,
No.
but I suppose if they were, then we'd have to start looking at whether they did fall into this.
Okay,
I think they would fall under grocery store
Yeah.
definition.
okay.
But they don't have a
That's-
membership, that's the difference.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Mhm.
I think we had talked about, actually. Did we want to say would be a paid membership? You know,
Oh, I thought that was in there.
it is not, it is not
Okay.
in here currently.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, can't hurt. I mean, there's no. Kind of memberships there.
Well, I mean, I guess you could
Well,
be a
like-
member of.
Wegman Shopper Club.
Oh,
You're a
okay,
member.
yes, okay,
Yeah.
that's defined.
Mhm. So I'll add that in as a suggestion for paid membership.
Were there other suggestions that you wanted to share?
Oh, yes, yep. So this is just in the definition section. So let me put that in. All right. So we're talking about the accessory use of the gas pumps, but saying that it's not a gas station. Now, I should point out that in an industrial district, you can have a gas station. In a business district, you can have a gas station. So if this big box store thing, also retail went there, they could have their retail and they can have a separate gas station. So this is just sort of protecting it as a whole use.
I see it as a kind of a gas pump station, less so of a gas station, right? Because it's not, there's a lot of other functions associated with gas stations besides the pumps, but in this case, it's just the pumps, right? That's the intent. Because-
There's not a mini mart, there's not a little hot dog stand, there's not a soda machine,
There can be, we're suggesting 2 accessory buildings, but they're just basically to take payments, have an employee bathroom, and that's in the definition.
Right.
Or not in the definition, under the general requirements. Sole purposes of processing payments for automotive gasoline fuel and associated automotive products, employee restroom, and the storage of gas pump operational equipment and supplies. And the two buildings could be up to 400 square feet total.
Right, just a couple of buildings and just, we're trying to kind of look around and see. We don't want no one to fit into the definition, right? So looked around to see what is going on in these various places. That seemed appropriate. The other thing that is limiting from a gas station is the discussion item that it's not gonna be a truck stop, right? So that it would be limited to some vehicle classes, right? So this is not. I don't know what's the board discussion on that? So the DMV does have classes of vehicles. We could go into that. You're talking to the wrong person, okay? If you want me to talk about vehicle classes, okay? So someone's gonna have to help with this.
Well, I thought there was a suggestion to reference DOT or DMV's classes.
Mhm.
I mean, at the end of the day, it becomes an enforcement issue, but at least there's something defined for the approvals.
Right.
And I think that's very reasonable, easy to access.
Well, I think it'll also on site plan and special permit approvals. Then you look at, well, we're not gonna have huge aisles because we're not gonna have big huge trucks or, whatever.
Yeah, turning radiuses for tractor trailers
Mhm.
way larger
Right.
than turning radiuses for passenger vehicles.
I think it was based on the number of axles,
Mhm.
so two. was
Okay.
the-
So,
Two axles, six wheel, because that gets you like a dually pickup truck,
Mhm.
or a box truck if someone's moving and they have a U-Haul and they're just filling that up. But once you get into three axles or separated cab and trailer, then you start looking at truck stop stuff. So I think we were looking at two axles, six wheel as being allowed.
but also under like the DMV classes, and we'll look at those.
Right, they have,
Someone
I'm
other
trying to pull
than
that
me.
up now, but
And you can't-
it's DOT, so it's DOT.
DOT,
Not DMV.
yeah.
And I'm thinking about like
Yeah, so they have. I guess they label them alphanumerically F1 through F13. F1 is motorcycles, F2 is passenger cars, F3 is other 2-axle, 4-tire, single unit. Then it goes into buses. So maybe we would also allow F5, which is 2-axle, 6-tire, single unit trucks. But not 3-axle.
But the idea, it's for passenger vehicles.
Right.
And we don't wanna have, otherwise, go build your gas station, but not in high tech and, follow the rules in the other sections. So that we're trying to say this is a different kind of a thing.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, I'll make some notes on that.
And one other thing that I wanted to mention that came up during the town board meeting is there was some discussion of requiring EV charging stations. Maybe like one EV charging station for every 2 pumps or something like that, so. If you can talk about that a bit.
like in their parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Away from this. High
Not
traffic gas
part
station.
of the gas pump area. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that, Doug?
I'm all for charging stations.
Us.
Yeah, I think. I don't know that we have anywhere in the code that mandates them,
No.
right? What we're really saying is that they would be encouraged in this. Or are they suggesting that it's a mandate?
I think it was being suggested as a mandate.
So what, one EV parking,
If it's a mandate, I
it
think
could
my
go,
position is that it should be. It should be open to more than just paid membership access. So everybody, that would be as an EV driver.
oh. mhm.
And I guess you wouldn't need
You pay money
the
for
membership
EV
card
charging always.
to
Yeah.
charge an EV station. Necessarily, like if it wasn't restricted on the EV charger. If you weren't a member and you just were parking to charge there. You still wouldn't be able to go in the store, but you might be able to use the charger. It's not. You put your membership card into the charger.
Would that Jamie, go against the whole
Well, I.
warehouse, being part of the warehouse club?
Well, we've got this section that talks about other general requirements. And I think we could put that in, but doesn't require membership. So one EV parking station for each. So many pumps
Like,
or?
For 2 pumps
Two?
maybe,
Yeah, her two.
or if the maximum is 32 pumps.
That's a
the
lot.
maximum
60
number-
stations is a lot.
Yeah.
I was only
You're
thinking
gonna-
for, like, cause you know how right now it's
Or,
like two,
yeah,
and you can
For
park.
each 4 pumps,
Yeah.
okay.
1 station per.
Mhm.
Okay. So the other thing that was talked about at town board was about. You know, when is it no longer accessory? Well, it's a very big building, right? First of all, so the numbers have vacillated, but I think the town board said 32, right? If you're more than 32, you're not accessory, you're just a whole Buc-ee's, right? Has anyone ever been to a Buc-ee's?
Well, I think it's
West, right?
Yes.
also
fun.
if it has a
It's a fun
different
place.
like names. Like if it were to have a different name, it's no longer accessory, like if it
Mhm.
weren't
Right,
like BJ's gas or.
right, if it
like,
was Sunoco gas or something,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, as soon as they wanna put up
Mhm.
the signs that we had
Mhm.
earlier in our meeting, it's no longer an accessory.
Mhm.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an accessory, it's part of the main occupancy and it shouldn't have its own separate branding.
Mhm. Right.
I'm not really quite sure how to do that, but I mean, I'll write that down as a note. You have to do anything.
We're talking about paid membership, should we say paid? Your point, whether you should belong in. But you do belong, but you don't pay for it.
Right,
So I think paid should be.
is it important?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that in. Okay. So does everyone, there was discussion, I think, about whether we should just say 32 pumps. But there was also a discussion about square footage. Should we make it, well, you can have so much area, but.
What percentage of the 150,000 square feet is 32 pumps? Like, I'm assuming you're saying.
We had an estimate of that along, but I can't remember. 10%?
Maybe 10% or so.
I mean, that's an easy way of making sure that it's scaled.
I almost would like
Appropriately.
that more than numbering.
Well, we could do both. It could be,
For some
No
reason, I don't
more.
like
That's
those.
like no-
Yeah, more.
right,
Right.
Why not?
so, like, gasoline fuel pumps greater number than 32 and covering. No less
No
than,
more than.
even no more than,
Well, that's,
so much gross floor area, right?
10% of the gross floor area of the main building.
Of the host, main host of retail clubs, right? Okay.
might deserve a little more.
Like the
refinement.
awning side.
What, you
I
know,
was thinking too, because you've got stacking,
Yeah.
potentially, and then you've got the vehicles.
Layout,
Yeah, and then
paint.
the circulation around the pumps on the site is gonna be critical. Like it needs to be somehow segregated circulation
Mhm.
that's happening.
Oh, you know what,
Stores.
we actually put something, I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, Doug.
yeah.
Under the general requirements, I'm like, I know we did something with this. So C says accessory gas pump shall only be in the gas pump area, which is measured from the outer edges of the most exterior gas pumps and shall not exceed 10,000 square feet. I'm like, I know we did something.
Okay,
A little less than 10.
So for reference, the one in Camillus, at Costco in Camillus, the whole paved part for the pumps is roughly 35,000 square feet. The actual canopy itself is 5,500.
We're looking at just the gas pumps, not like a canopy or decking area, because that's too hard to define. We don't
Right,
know.
I don't know how you would do
It would
that,
be laid out or,
but that needs to be a consideration as part of the site plan review.
I think the canopy covers all of the gas pumps because of the fire suppression. So it's almost like we could use the canopy, but I don't know.
I don't know if there's like an accessory building, if that would also be under the canopy or.
Yeah.
I would
something.
gather. I would gather so, yeah.
There, I think that's the gist of the changes from what's posted currently. Did anyone else have any comments on any of the other items, particularly there's the section that's like whenever we have a commercial garage or some other use, it's like, here's some other things you gotta do, right? Some site plan requirements, and that's what we've got A through G, and now maybe the EVs, a couple more, maybe the branding. And is there anything else in that? Just real quick, a few of them. The accessory use cannot be located closer than 100 feet from any residential lot or residential district boundary. So that would be something, and that's also for gas stations, by the way, I think in our code. No open air outdoor storage of merchandise unless it's approved, right, at the site plan. Screening of any gas pump equipment, unless it's in one of the buildings, won't be necessary. Then there's signage.
If you're gonna do EV, you need to have screening for the
Okay.
transformers.
Mhm. Okay.
Who might have been EVs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do all of that through site plan.
That's
I'm
true.
not how deep we want to go with.
Yeah, you don't want to get too crazy. It's just,
It's almost like we just say that they're required and that they have to meet the standard code.
Yeah, and
Because we
well,
so
we don't have standard code, but we talked about adding it.
Yeah.
The design guidelines, so that's something we're working on updating.
other than that, the signage, what can be on the pumps, we basically ripped it from the gas station. Code and put it into this. Product display advertising, no. Advertising. It is.
No excessive music.
What to say.
Anyway,
It's getting bad.
I don't know how we would do that. We'll send Leah out to monitor that on the daily. So I've got the comments and I'll put them in a format that will be strictly draft. You know, and for anyone who's listening online or here interested in this, it will be published again on Civic. And then hopefully at the next meeting, after everyone takes a look at it, we can refer it back to the town board who, you know, there's a few changes, but I see a couple town board members here. Hopefully they're listening. Maybe they're good with it. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they'll have more comments. You know, if yes, send them to me. It's a work in progress on this legislation and we're doing our best to get it right. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
So we'll table this, but we'll bring it up hopefully for the next meeting to make that referral. Sounds good to me.
Thank you very much for your input.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Doug, if I may.
Yes.
Any of our guests have not signed the sign-in sheet, would you please do so underneath? Thank you.
Okay. We've got a number of concept presentations tonight, starting with Copper Top. Is an applicant from Copper Top here?
Dave Schlosser, Stauffer Architects.
Hi, Dave. Before we start, so tonight is a concept presentation. This is the first time that many of the board here have kind of seen the scope and what you're proposing to do. So if you could take, 10 minutes or so. You don't need to use it all if you don't need to, but just kind of give everybody a chance to understand what you're proposing. It really gives us a chance to provide you feedback as we move through the process. And very good.
Okay, obviously Copper Top on Boulevard basically opened several months ago. They found themselves basically needing some additional cooler space. What's being proposed is basically a pre-manufactured drop-in, a drop-on site cooler box. It's shown in blue in here. Nothing on the site changes other than this particular location. There'll be a new foundation for it. It's a cooler box that butts up to the existing building. It's 7'7" by 24'11". It does basically take 3 parking spaces. We are still substantially over the requirement by code. So the 3 spaces are not a loss. Visibility wise, it is it's not visible from either the west side or the east side parking lots. Visible. And it's an aluminum faced unit, 8 foot high, custom colored to basically blend with the ephes that's on either side of the building. There are lights back here that are mounted on the building. They'll be removed and reinstalled on the cooler box. So basically, there's no lighting changes. There's no site changes other than what I just basically mentioned. No changes in the building, seating capacity, or really any architectural elements to the building. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lead it off then. So my 2 questions are, the packaged unit itself, the condenser units, where are they? How are they? They're mounted on top of this unit.
Mounted on top of that unit.
Okay.
And basically, again, at 8 foot high, the back wall is about 10.5 feet high. So basically that condensing unit will not extend above the ceiling, or above the roof line.
Of the building, not of the cooler.
Well, correct. Yes.
Because it's a remote mounted unit. It's not on top of your cooler unit.
It's on top of the cooler unit. Yes.
All right, so then I'm confused. How is it that you don't see it if it's mounted on top?
You don't stay from the, I'm just saying from basically the parking, the main parking lots, east or west, you're really not going to see it because the building itself is in the 12 foot, 15 foot high. So this parapet that's along here will conceal it. So basically, if you were back here in the dumpster area, would you see it? Yes.
Okay. I mean, generally, we're looking to screen the rooftop elements from view. This does have visibility on another side, so that would be my ask, is that it does have some screening. I think the second comment was just how, so the aluminum siding for the cooler unit, that's intended to blend with the rest of the copper top structure. There's a detail of just how you're treating the roof edge. And it looks like it's just I don't know, PVC membrane or something similar that's wrapping down the edge, and
Yeah, it doesn't come with its own roofing. So basically we put our own on it.
you put your own on it. Okay.
Yes.
So I would be looking for just to kind of dress that edge with a traditional edge metal detail to capture it and clean it up.
I think we showed that on a section. Well, we didn't show that basically there'd be a drip that we did here.
Okay, but that's the intent.
Basically,
You can incorporate that. Okay.
I'll check on the cooler or the condensing unit, if we can put the condensing unit inside or something like that, or up on top.
Or if it could be up on top behind the screen that you already have.
That's could be too.
That would be the best size.
When the site plan originally came in, I remember it being a little tight back there for the dumpster. Does it affect the dumpster?
Go back to the site
space
plan.
at all?
It has no impact on that. Basically, this, you can see basically we had parking here before. So actually in front of this area, there'll actually be another 10 feet. So it has no impact on it.
So that's being placed where there was parking?
3
Correct.
spots.
No.
Yeah, they mentioned basically we're losing 3 parking spaces.
Yes.
And I think there's
Presumably,
131
you've got
required.
it takes good.
160.
Carry them around.
How has your parking been serving you? Is it-
Pardon?
How's it been going with the parking over there? Is it enough? I know the restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, basically, got 90, I think they have 92 spaces on their property. And then they have the legal rights to about another 75 that are on the, in common with the strip center to the west. And that's all documented in paperwork and contracts that we gave you copies of initially.
Also on the drawings, I presume, they've got the parking calculated. There is.
I do.
Calculation on drawings.
Is the cooler going on an existing sidewalk?
Sorry, what?
Is it going on an existing sidewalk or
No,
path?
there's just basically a guardrail there.
Oh, okay. So the sidewalk goes adjacent to the door though? I'm just wondering, because now it seems like people will be traveling with boxes of food or something to get into the kitchen. I don't know where the entrance is. I
You know
can't.
what? Services all down to the southeast corner,
So the,
everything right in here. This is basically a service and loading. It doesn't interfere with any exits. There's an exit into the west, exit to the north. And this area is basically, like I said, is just simply parking. It has a door that will open into the kitchen. There's no outside access to it on that.
Oh, it is access.
There we are.
All from the inside.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
we thought it was only outside access.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because you showed a picture with an outside access
Yeah,
door.
we did show, there is a floor plan of the restaurant,
Yeah.
which basically shows the door that's going into the kitchen.
Mhm.
And you're putting another guard rail to protect it from.
Yes. From anybody that, any activity that might be going on out here.
Smart.
Expensive unit.
Well, if you'll look into the condensing unit question and it's dressing up the edge. Are there any other questions we want to send them along with? Or comments about from Art or anything?
No, you guys been with the materials?
Well, so again, my understanding is it's a pre-finished aluminum.
Oh, yes.
Is there a way to make it so it's not as glossy, so it does blend in a little more?
It's not glossy.
Okay, yeah, again, the picture has me.
No.
It's telling, it gives 1,000 words, right?
So maybe just that when you come back for hopefully final approval, you could just bring a sample for the record
For the
of
finish.
the finish.
We submitted one.
Oh, you did?
Okay,
Yes.
It's not a physical one, but the cut sheets are.
Oh, you want a physical sample of it? I'll see if I can get one. I can get a sample of it, probably not with the custom color on it. There probably would be no chance of getting approval of this if I guaranteed that condensing unit was not on the building, not on that unit.
say that again?
He wants approval tonight. He said.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, we don't. There were several questions. No one has, many people on the board haven't seen it, but we're on again in 2 weeks. We're,
In 2 weeks.
twice a month. So,
Okay.
the board will look at this. It sounds like there's not many comments.
Yeah, if you can let us know about the condensing unit.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We're not really prepared tonight. We don't have anything drafted for approval and of course the documents need to match what we're talking about. So I think the best case is that it would be in 2 weeks.
Just asking.
Yeah.
Can you turn
Well
around
done.
your drawing? How quickly can you update your drawings?
A couple days.
Yeah, if you can get that to us ASAP, then we
Sure,
can
absolutely.
see if we can get you on.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
welcome.
Okay, next for concept is ABF Freight for a monument sign. Just online or not in person, I see.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Manny from Signorama, representing Signorama of Forest Hills. And yes, we are working on ABF Freight monument sign that is located 7020 Northern Boulevard, Okay, yes. Yes, so the sign is a monument sign that is a detached monument sign as per the code, as you can see. It's 10 feet wide and 6 feet high, and attached on top of that is the 3D letters. The 3D letters is the name of the company, and also we have the street number here, 7020, and they're made of acrylic. The space between the letters is 2 inches. That the main name is or the name of the company is 2 inches, and the street number is attached to the surface. The material is pretty much like the final finish is what you call like a synthetic stucco, which is an aggregated acrylic, and that's the outside. This if you look at the slide, sorry, I don't see. Yeah, here, yeah. If you look at the next page, you will see the core is structure. The core structure is molded expanded polystyrene, and there is a layer of aromatic fast cure polymer hard coating and impact resistant, was given a strength hard coat finish, and the final finish or the final coat is the aggregated acrylic, which gives the same feel of the Cambridge brick as the building. The building is Cambridge or finishes like made of like bricks. If you look at the next slide, yeah, here. So it's what we know as Cambridge bricks, and we're matching that. So like the synthetic stock or the aggregated acrylic is going to give the same feel of the actual brick, and the colors are matching with the building as you can see here, and the logo or the company, these are the brand colors of ABF Freight.
Okay. I appreciate that you're trying to pick up the vocabulary and the materials of the building, but for me, the use of the polystyrene and stucco finishes for this brick, it hurts my heart a little bit. So in part because it doesn't look anything, I don't think it's going to look anything like brick. I'm not sure how it's going to hold up. So is there any reason why you're not using real brick? Or we have used, I mean, some other applicants have used some other synthetic products, but I've actually never seen a sign like this. I'm actually curious too. How is the coursing laid out? Is there any articulation of the mortar joints? Does it just look flat and it's been painted? So
it's gonna look exactly as brick. So like if I sent some pictures of previously, we're using Peachtree Foam Craft. It's one of our vendors. It's pretty much like in the signage industry. They're very well known, and their products are in every state, and they imitate the real materials using those. Or for example, like if it's rocks, they have the ability to make it look like rocks. The reason is it's lighter, and at the same time it lasts longer than the actual, without changing colors or doesn't like show it like without much wear and tear. So
are there any installs nearby our area, like within a certain radius?
Those installs are in Pennsylvania. I think these are the closest. Pennsylvania. This is a school, I believe, Pennsylvania, and I believe also I sent other pictures. They're in the same state or the same area. These are the closest. Yes.
Is the first 24 inches of the sign that you're looking at also this styrofoam product or the extruded product?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So
It's
there's no concern of like getting hit by a weed whacker or lawn equipment or shovels. It seems like a product that could get dented.
no, not at all. And this product, I mean, like it's like it shows strength more than the actual material that it imitates. So if a Cambridge brick is going to look exactly the same, only people from the industry would be able to tell that's not the real element. The brick is going to be looking exactly the same as the brick. The cement or any other paint looking like, all that is going to look exactly the same as the actual material. And when it comes to strength, even if it gets hit by a car, it's not going to get damaged.
Have you, if you hit a brick, I think that would come down. So if you could, have you sent a sample of this that we could see next to the building or like compare in some way? Even if we could see it here, I think that
sample.
Not just a photo, but an actual physical sample of what the brick looks like.
Yeah. So I can coordinate that to send a sample of the actual material, how it's like. It may not be exact brick, but I will send something that would show you what is the material, how it looks like, and the weight of the material, and just give you an idea of what is it.
Definitely brick though, not a stone, because I can see that the stone looks a little bit like stone. I want to see if the brick looks anything like brick.
Okay, I will get in touch with the factory and I will try to coordinate that. Yeah.
So is this structural or is it a facing?
I think it's both.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a polystyrene geofoam backup that they're putting.
I feel like it's
So this is this wrapped? Is there seams or is this individual?
I feel like it's TJ Big Boy. You remember TJ Big Boy? It was on his take.
Please.
It's all like one piece. It's not the only thing that is attached to it are the 3D letters. For the picture that's example in front of you, like for the school, that's one piece. But the logo and the 3D letters, all those are attached to it. But everything else is one piece.
So
what about more?
is it one contiguous piece? Like, is there no seams or?
No, it's exactly.
This is not, we have several architects on this board. No one seems to be very familiar with this product, which is surprising to me,
Looking over.
Yeah, so, architects and builders and all kinds of people. So I think, certainly the board is, open to seeing a new product. I know in the time I've been working with this board, there's things change and products get better and so forth. But this is the first time this product has ever been seen. It happens to be in an industrial area, which I think if it was in a non-industrial, it wouldn't even be looked at in any way, shape, or form. But we're going to try to have to do more research and
there's the website.
I have to prove to the board that this is a material that's suitable for this climate and this area.
I mean, we do have a position regarding EIFS and stucco in general on buildings, which is prevented from damage at the base of buildings. So it's the same logic. They don't last. They're terrible over time.
Okay, I totally understand. I understand it's a new product. I shared the website of the factory in the chat if you want to have a look later on or now. Yeah.
Sorry, is there a detail of how it's connected to the structure below and a detail of how the letters are then connected also, because I just feel like when you're putting a fastener into this extruded product, I wonder how it holds on. Are we using expansion anchors? Yeah.
So it's the whole the monument is one piece, and within the monument, in the design from the beginning, we asked them like either we need 2 poles or 3 poles. If you go to the previous page, yeah, you see here like we have 3 metal posts, okay, and those metal posts would fit like inside of the monument. You have other 3 plastic pipes that's already built with the monument, and when at the time of installation, we used foam, which between the metal and the plastic pipe, which holds everything all together. So it gets sleeved and in the metal on the metal posts that are already built in the concrete footing.
Okay, well, I'd like to move along with this, but I think we need some more information about the material, its durability, to feel comfortable with it. And then I think it sounds like some more details about how it's installed. And then I guess aside from that, just in terms of the code requirements for signage and square footage area, I think in compliance with the square footage.
It seems to be meeting code as far as the dimensions go, yeah. I think the material is gonna be the.
Beside the material.
Right, right. The dimensions, the height and width, that all appears to me code. Including the height, yes, 6 feet.
Or did you say the height was okay?
Yes, so 6 feet is allowed in industrial. The other monument sign we saw was in SPC. You could have 5 feet there, 6 feet.
Okay, all right. I think if you could follow with that back to the planning board, that's something we could do.
Okay, right. So just some, I will share with you more details about the product or the whole monument, the installation, and all of that. And my other question is, if we switch to actual brick and concrete, and like, would that be okay, or would it be more acceptable?
Generally, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will discuss this with the company. I will provide you with all the information needed, and I will try to send a sample as well. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're going to move on to our next concept presentation. This is for Lemoyne College for a proposed parking lot on Lot C. And again, if you could give us an expansion. If you could give us just a 10-minute or so overview for the board members.
Hopefully shorter.
Yeah, more shorter.
More shorter.
Sorry, do I need to leave or do I stay?
Oh, so you have a conflict?
Yeah, you just don't have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can stay in the room, but you have to leave the
leaving.
table and you can't speak. Thank you.
So I said, when we were here last, I said I'd be back in a couple of weeks to talk about parking. We can have a Google Earth or Google this. We have an occupational therapy program and it's currently downtown Fayette Street. We had moved down there with the hopes that that program would really be successful and looking for us is in the city. Unfortunately, it failed to achieve its enrollment goals, and it's running at about 50% of the enrollment that it's supposed to be. So we have about 24 students in there, and it's costing us $300,000 a year to be down to.
What was the program? I'm sorry.
Occupational therapy, OT. It was actually my project.
Okay.
Way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna relocate them into Avalon Hall, existing space, and the hope they're gonna start their academic year next August. On campus in that location. And so When we've been having our parking conversations with you, as we seem to have them every year or so, we talk about our parking and what our situation is. We'd like to add parking in this area to help support them. So they are 24 people. They're 24 per class, so it's 2 cohorts, they're 48. And there's some faculty as well. And then if you recall our earlier conversations, C lot, which is on Springfield Road here, is our commuter parking as well. And that's where we have our biggest parking demand, where we have folks that are coming in before lunch, staying, having lunch, going to class, and then the folks from the morning are staying, having lunch, and then so as we always say in my parking letters to you, parking at a college is like, you know, part art, part science. You know, if we were to have a parking spot for everybody that we hire, we pay more than Lemoyne, obviously. So we're proposing a 68-car parking lot, addition to C lot, which in this area over here, we're off of our Performing Arts Center. If you recall, our from our master plan updates that we do every so often. We can't do it with all of you, otherwise it's a public meeting, but our theater addition to the Performing Arts Center would be here on our master plan. So this is sort of off of that, and it goes out to the Syracuse city line. And I'm sure there have been questions as to why it doesn't, you know, align with the rest of the parking, et cetera. But if we can move this way, and perfect. Little background. So we did the land study, which was a collaboration between us and the city of Syracuse to improve the areas around Lemoyne in terms of utilities, streetscape, sidewalks, biking lanes, slowing down cars, improving bus shelters, making investments in this portion of the neighborhood, which is the more sort of depressed area, all of that stuff. And so we were working with the city of Syracuse, and we started implementing some of these things. And we talked about removing all on-street parking because, of course, all of our neighbors over here were pretty fed up with cars in front of their driveways and their mailboxes, not being able to get their mail delivered, not getting their trash, et cetera.
Yeah.
There's no X or you love AI. Love AI. Not sure where we're going next. It'll make signs for us. So we did all that, and then, you know, we said, okay, you know, we can take all these cars off the street, which we agree to do because we really want safer streets for pedestrians and bikers, et cetera. And we did that. And we said, and the city had actually approved a parking lot for us here. And when we went in for the re-permitting of it, so the city has this as a residential property. So unless we're building a house on our campus, we have to go to the ZBA. And apparently we walked into some kind of political trap, and one of the members on the ZBA was running for office, and I was completely attacked, and he brought all the neighbors out with torches, and it was at the same time the city was being sued by Syracuse University. We just sort of backed up and just let it go. They didn't approve it, and they said you can't build parking here, residential property, and we just at that time didn't pursue it. Well, at this point, our need has shifted, and we're trying to help accommodate some of that parking that we lost from the street, and also our occupational therapy program, and that's why we're looking to add the parking there, and that's why it doesn't cross into the city of Syracuse. At some point in the future in time, we will be going back to the city of Syracuse and having the parking lot built, because the zoning board of appeals voted against the corporation council advice, which is a very bad idea.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago. It was a spectacle. The press was there. I just sort of backed down. They're like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Nope, nope, just pull it." Lemoyne doesn't like to ruffle feathers. Not our style. So we're here today basically because of our occupational therapy program, and it would be nice to add about 20 parking spaces to that to help alleviate some of what our commuters. Unfortunately, it falls on our commuters because everybody else who comes in the morning or was there all day, they get their spot. But then I don't want to say our poor students, but our students who are coming in for a class because they're trying to improve their education, improve their life or whatever, are the ones who are suffering because of all of these bigger machinations that are, basically squeezing that, which is really unfortunate. That's the project. That's the parking lot, that's the layout. It looks bigger than it is there because we're zoomed in on it. I hate those kinds of perspectives, but it's pretty far from the street. We are we're getting our stormwater test pits investigations done next week. Because you all know the ground's been frozen for a while. So we couldn't do our infiltration testing. So this is just to share this with you, and then when we have all that, we'll submit it, and then we'll come back for like a final and issue comments, et cetera, but it won't be in 2 weeks. So that's where we're at.
What is the field used for right now?
It's just grass. There's if we go back to the Google map, so it's this huge triangle over here, and that just takes up this portion of it from here. And then there are huge trees that run along the border, so it's not, it will be visible, but it's not like right at the street either.
You're just surveying more than an acre.
Yes.
We'll have
To do a SWIP.
Yes.
You said 20 spots for the OT program, but
It's 68 parking spaces. Oh, yeah, for handicapped. And then the remainder, and if we're up here further in the map, that's where we host a lot of flew away earlier. We have the rest of our handicapped and visitor parking are all lined up against the sidewalk there for the buildings that are adjacent to this.
so the primary reason for its orientation, not continuing the layout of the aisles and the parking lot that you have now in Lot C, is to avoid a confrontation with the city of Syracuse.
Just stay in Switzerland.
And that's right, that's the line that's shown.
My administration does not want to go into the city at the moment. At some point in the future, this parking lot will be reoriented with the rest of them and restriped, but yeah. So this is the first step.
Where does the master plan, kind of the general footprint of the expansion of the PAC land?
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah. They have access to it. That's why it's yay far off the building.
Do you have a site plan that kind of shows the orientation of the paving relative to all the green space around it? Is it just kind of
For the
so that whole corner triangle? Yeah.
we cut it off on the bottom, but
Yeah.
it's we're 84 feet from this corner to the property line on Salt Springs. And 144 feet this way. But we didn't write the running out version.
You know what I see is a pathway that's going to be created going right to the coffee shop, right from the corner of your lot. That's how do you? Yeah. So how does one circulate off this lot to the rest of campus? Just over the.
You go back and go by the Performing Arts Center. Everybody who parks here either goes through this node, or they go through the node up above. And I'm not sure you've been present during our master plan presentations, but these drop-off locations are sort of gateways. And if you recall, last year we made a gateway here for this entrance. There's a gateway here by the Performing Arts Center, which I know you're familiar with. And so these are the two nodes where people sort of come in, they go out. And if somebody's getting coffee, they're probably going to get it before they park, so that they don't park, go, and then come back.
I just mean it. They're going to get a popular destination. There's no place to park.
It's so fun to have something popular all of a sudden. It's created all kinds of headaches for me, but it's good. It's good.
The Firehouse coffee shop on the corner.
Yeah.
$3 million later, it's up to our standards. Not including the original 600 for the purchase. That's a lot of money per square foot. Don't go buying old buildings, bad idea. So that's the parking that we're requesting. It's all insular to our property. I'm assuming, I don't, It'll probably be expanded again at some point in a different way, that's a little more permissive. But at this point, we have a need that's coming in August that we need to address. We don't want to be on the street. Already, when we're really pressured, people are parking on our islands, they're, parking in the drive lanes. We've managed to keep everybody off the street. We've worked with the city police. We've worked with the DeWitt police. We've put up signage along all the perimeter of the property, so no one is parking on the street and bothering our neighbors anymore. That's all over. But then it's creating a major headache for us because we never got the relief that we thought we were going to get, which is kind of unfortunate.
Okay.
Have you done your PJD for this?
No, we have not.
So make sure you do that.
We submitted, we haven't heard back yet. Yeah.
Okay. Are you adding any landscaping around the parking lot?
We're planning on any, relying on the existing vegetation. This is all sycamores along this edge.
I mean, it's very far from everything that's internal to our property.
Lighting?
Our standard light bulb, which is that ELA.
Was there a photometric?
There was, yeah.
Cut sheets are provided.
Other questions? Okay, it sounds like there's some open items still.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to come back down and when we have the rest of the information and when we have the stormwater calculations for what we're gonna treat it, we'll come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up is a concept presentation for Goodwill Center on 4432 East Tennessee Street. I think there's a number of folks here today, so if you guys could just please introduce yourself and who you're representing. And just as a reminder, this is a concept presentation, so we're asking for 10 minutes or so, but just give us an idea of what you're proposing. A lot of the board hasn't seen or heard what the scope of the project is, so there's an opportunity for us to ask questions, but we're just trying to understand the use and the operations. So it's up on you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Marco Marzocchi with Wide Waters. I'm here presenting, along with a few other people, the application for Goodwill. With me tonight is Jack Eichhorn. Jack is Director of Real Estate for Goodwill. Kathleen Bennett, the Bonchenic King, she's representing us. I think you're familiar with her work in town. Online, I believe we have Don Panone and Jake Greenacre. They are with Goodwill's professional design team. They are members of the firm SWRB. Did I get that right? We are.
SWBR.
So sorry about that.
No problem.
So they're with SWBR. I thought they were with Goodwill the way he said that.
Well, they're representing Goodwill as a third party vendor design team. Okay. I also see here tonight a very dear friend of mine, Carrie Manning. Carrie and I have talked about this project multiple times. We've met in person about it. Thank you for being here in support. I appreciate it. So, although the application speaks for itself, I think there are a couple of points I'd like to sum up. I trust all of you are familiar with the property that is the subject of this application.
I think it might be helpful to use the drawings, the tools. Again, not everybody's familiar with what's being presented.
Well, I'd be surprised if there is anybody who's not familiar with this site. It's situated at the southeast corner of the intersection of Jamesville Road and East Genesee Street. The property consists of approximately 2.5 acres of covered land.
And it's covered by an existing development, 24,714 square foot retail building and related site improvements such as a parking lot, lighting. The building and site improvements were originally permitted and constructed nearly a half a century ago. Okay. And are substantially the same condition, size that they were when they were originally approved, circa 1980 by Penn Traffic and the parent company PNC. Tops was the most recent. Those permits, including site plan approval that were issued by this body, are still valid today. Tops closed at this location in April of 2025, and Wide Waters closed on the purchase of the land in September of last year. Incidentally, for anyone who's curious about it, this site will never be a grocery store, ever. It was purchased, or I should say, it was sold by Tops on the condition that it could never be used for a grocery store ever again. In perpetuity, this restriction will last. Now, the application that's pending before you couldn't be any more straightforward. In my opinion, it's a simple one. Okay. In fact, if you're evaluating this project objectively, without biases and without prejudices, it's a no-brainer. As I spelled out in the application, the proposal involves substituting one retail tenant, a prior retail tenant, a prior retail store with another retail store. In other words, there's no change of use. Equally important is what the proposal does not involve. It doesn't involve any changes whatsoever to the building, no changes whatsoever to the site, the physical condition of the property, or its use, except one change. It'll be less intense than historical uses. From both a physical and operational perspective, this transition from the prior use to Goodwill will be seamless. So I know you have a lot of questions. Jack is here tonight to talk or answer your questions with regards to operations. To the extent he can't answer them tonight, we'll get the answers for you and they'll be available when we return. The design team of Don and Josh, they'll be more than happy to answer your questions with regard to the site, as well as some operational questions. They'll be able to answer those. But what you see here, it exists today. And it'll exist tomorrow when Goodwill occupies the building. So with that, I'd like to hear your questions.
I'm hoping that Jack can kind of talk a little bit about operations. That's one of our big, so you have a presentation as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess not to take a show of hands, but I hope most are familiar with the Goodwill concept here. It's a chance to give your lightly or gently used goods a second chance. Sustainability is the first thing that comes to my mind, quite frankly, keeping things out of landfills. In the last year alone, 28.8 million pounds were diverted from waste through our stores, given a second chance. Also to highlight just in terms of our tagline, we're more than just a store. So instead of being sort of your typical retailer where there's profits and things of that nature, we have our 2-in-1 2-in-1 services, which connects community information and referral services. We also operate the 988 mental health and suicide prevention crisis support line. And also we have launched a GLA for short. It's called the Goodwill Learning Academy, or I guess short it would be GLA. It's a 12-week cohort to help adults who do not have a high school diploma obtain in this area alone or in Onondaga County. There's over 30,000 individuals, for reference, that don't have a diploma or equivalency. So I guess the short and sweet of it is, here at Goodwill, we're more than a store. We're providing jobs. we're giving your items a second chance. We're also going to be hopefully, with the revenue generated at the store, putting it back into all of our community programs as 90 cents on every dollar is pumped back into across the board here. So in terms of operations, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. is our normal store hours. We employ roughly, I believe it's 15 to 20 people per location. Obviously, we staff up probably closer to 30 just in terms of turnover, part-time workers, things of that nature. The primary busy days would be on the weekends, Saturday, Sundays. And I guess from there, I don't know what else or what other questions. Maybe I open up to you guys. What other questions we hopefully answer.
I'll kind of jump in a little bit. So I'm familiar with the organization, not as much with the operations, and it had been represented. I think Marco, you had mentioned at one point that this facility would be just like the facility in Cicero, the Goodwill facility in Cicero, and is that in the operations there? Is that the case?
Yeah, on the Doggo Boulevard and or
Identical
Cicero.
to how they operate. Yeah.
Yes, and operations internally, all the same concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's just in terms of the donation center operations? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
This site specifically,
For
or
this site specifically?
Yep, so this one, again, trying to make as little, alterations to the building as possible, would be a new concept for us. So here you see the sales floor. This would be kind of our receiving lane, we call it. It's a long hallway, breakdown, things of that nature as you drop off and receive donations. So this site would be a little, I guess, different than kind of the Cicero ask in terms of we would be accepting donations through this front door area here, bringing them around to this hallway, and then processing them, getting them to the back of house, sorting, pricing, etc. here. So if you are familiar with Cicero, there's a drop-off canopy. You pull right up to the door. Obviously, with how tight this facility is, it's tough to do the drop-off canopy and everything else. So this one here, we are trying to, make the site work to the best of our ability here, and that's where we will be accepting donations through the existing front vestibule, getting them inside, and then into the processing.
Tell me a little bit about what sorts of donations you accept.
So from a high level, don't quote me on the exact numbers, but I believe at least 60% of our sales come from apparel. 15% is shoes. The other, I believe it's 12 to 14% is wares. And then, shoes or purses, maybe 1%, books 1%, and that's how you eventually get up to the 100% there. But primarily it's apparel.
Do you accept furniture and larger items?
Yes and no. If you come to bring a couch to us, we won't turn it away. But we do have a list on the website of items that we will not take, children's seats, things of that nature. In terms of furniture, we try to get those more to our pound store or outlet centers. We have one at 1555 Jefferson Road in Henrietta, New York. That's kind of the main, I guess, hub for the furniture. Furniture to get it lightly used is often not I guess it takes up space. There is going to be a small section, but it's not a big percentage of the sales.
Do you get goods shipped into this store from other stores?
Yep, so we have our donation centers in Camillus, and McKay, and we would service those locations, and we would bring a box truck in to support the store as it needs donations through those donation centers, EDCs for sure.
Would you ship stuff out of this store?
Stuff would leave, yes. After it goes through a 4-week cycle, it then will go, it's kind of gone through its life at that point, and then that's when everything ends up back at that 1555 Jefferson Road. We sell it by the pound. And again, just trying to give it every last use before we have to bail it and things of that nature.
Is there anything that you do in particular to deter folks from dropping off goods on off hours?
So the short answer to that one is obviously there's a reason why they're dropping it off after hours. They know we're not going to accept it. We bear the burden of all that. We, obviously will sign it the best of our ability. I guess the biggest thing is our hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Typically, most people are home at that point in time. But yes, we get in at 8 a.m. It's the first thing we'll clean off. If there are, say, a tire or a gas tank, a grill, somebody leaves that behind, we'll get it cleaned up as quickly as we possibly can.
Do you post signs or anything?
Yeah, we typically post signs, no dumping, things of that nature, but trying to enforce that's a whole other conversation.
And Jack, do you have cameras?
Yes.
Security cameras?
Yeah, so we heavily invest in AI cameras as well. So in terms of utilizing those to the best of their ability as well. That's a major investment we made in the last 2 or 3 years is incorporating those AI cameras as everything's going to AI as we joked around about earlier.
So just like at your other facilities, when it comes to the drop-off process procedure, how do you typically see it? People are driving up, they're parking, they're gathering, they're coming to the door.
Yep, so
Yeah.
not coming to the door, but staying in their vehicle. So we actually encourage most people to stay in their vehicle. That is our standard operating procedure, SOP for short. So yes, we would hope A-frame signs. Also, we're one of the few retailers who, with this concept, we have 2 to 3 full-time employees who are strictly dedicated to keeping that area, the goods flowing, the people flowing. It's all about convenience. And so yes, people would pull up. We would have rolling equipment at the ready.
Can you pull it back to the site plan? Yeah. That would be-
Will you zoom in
Zoom in
there?
around the entry. Perfect.
I can't see.
Should we pull the staging?
Yeah, I mean, Don and Joshua, if they want to put up.
Yeah, Josh, could you pull the stacking? It might
This
be
wasn't
easier to
part of the
see.
application, what the design team will put up on the board. Or the screen, it wasn't part of the application because they hadn't been developed yet. This is hot off the presses, so they can put it up. Display it, we can talk about it.
And I'll send a request to share and I can share my screen.
There we go.
Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'll leave this up here and Jack, you can discuss the operation.
So just trying to call it out a little bit better. So this would be the front entrance here, trying to show at least 2 cars stacking. That's generally our average during, typically we don't get, just to demonstrate at least what 5 cars would look like in a queuing area. Again, A-frame sign, it could be removed at the end of the night, beginning of the morning. And again, it's really all about maintaining this with our FTE, our full-time individuals dedicated to this area. Again, we could probably put an A-frame sign that could be easily moved down in the morning and then night. Please stop here. I don't know, I kind of compare it to the Wegmans car side to go concept at times. Where they would come here, pull up, we would then come out to the vehicle, encourage them to stay in their vehicle, and then accept a donation, get it into the building. And then down here, you would just see the box truck. Again, all that delivery would take place before we're open in terms of how would we manage all this if it's coming at once. That delivery comes between 8 and 8:30. So we open at 9, we don't accept donations before 9 besides cleaning off the after-hours donations. So that's kind of what the stacking plan would look like. There's questions or comments.
You get after-hour donations at the 2 other centers. You mentioned that this would be similar to Lincoln.
I'd have to get back to you on that one. I believe it's a dumping more so than anything else. I could pull the data for the next meeting. Yeah.
The blue vehicle versus the large tractor trailer.
Yep, so that would be a tractor and trailer, just demonstrating the space here, the 26-foot box truck. Pull in with a lift gate, could drop the lift gate, we could easily get it into the building here through the door. But just demonstrating that I guess we probably wouldn't have the tractor on the door at that point in time, we would just have the trailer. But again, fresh off the presses, trying to at least give a visual to the concept here.
I appreciate it, thank you.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask how the circulation would work with the trucks, which driveway they'd be coming in and out of.
So in terms of that, I think, Josh, we're still working on those plans at this point in time. We could show those.
Well, they're gonna come in the same way P and C and Tops brought them in. There's not gonna be any change.
Which is how?
I would
Yeah,
imagine, I would imagine, right? I underscore imagine, I mentioned it would come in off of Genesee Street. Because that would be the first entrance that they would encounter. Coming off of 41, I presume they would come off of 41, the trucks. And then they would circulate to the building or through the parking lot and back into the loading dock like they've done for the last 45 years. I don't know if this board is aware of any complaints about how it operated in the past, but it'll operate like it did before. So if there were any complaints or any comments, or notices of violation that you have on record, I'd like to see them. They're gonna use that loading dock exactly the way it's been for years.
Can you just show us on the plan at some point circulation?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we'll generate truck turning radiuses and show the tractor trailer operations along with the box truck operations for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly take a look at that. Making that left turn off of Genesee into that lot, the right in, right out, that's a tough turn.
Yeah, I mean,
Large vehicle.
I don't drive tractor trailers, I don't have my CDL, but that's why we outsource it to Ryder. So whether they come off of Genesee Street or come off of Jamesville Road, they'll figure out a way to get it back up to the dock. But we'll put it on a plan here. And again, just like the box truck, that's happening before we're even open between 8:30 in the morning.
So I know that there's some emphasis on we're using it the same way, but I didn't work at Tops either, but like, I don't think Tops ever loaded trailers and shipped stuff out, but you do that and it's a cyclic thing. And those trucks are all off hours, is what you're saying?
I guess I'm not quite understanding.
Cause you said you shipped stuff out of this location to send it to the other
Correct.
location.
It's a drop and hook model, so there's going to be a trailer on the door at all times. So when they come to make their delivery, they'll pick up the other trailer, pull away with the goods that need to go back to Jefferson Road and back the new inventory up to the door.
So they leave.
You're storing a trailer there.
Yeah, that's why I said that the tractor itself probably isn't the best, because they would never be there at the same time. So we don't keep a tractor and trailer at each site, it's just a trailer at each site. So that way they could load it throughout the week. And then once they're ready for their swap, they call logistics, put in the order, we come swap out, or Ryder can swap out since they don't have a CDL.
Okay.
So they come with essentially just the truck itself at that point to pull the trailer. If somebody comes behind them to drop off another trailer.
It's one tractor that would come, it depends, right? If they need supplies, they'll bring a trailer full of supplies, whether it's loading equipment, whether it's more apparel, whatever it may be needed. At that point in time, again, whether they stage that here for their drop and hook in, farther away parking spots, we can get into a drawing in terms of what the circular flow would look like for that.
Can you give us a number also of how many the truck trips in and out each
The
week?
frequency of that?
Yeah, so tractors are every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Coming in or out?
Well, both, when they come in, they're also leaving at that point. And then box trucks, again, they would then be every other day to that, so Thursdays, Tuesday, Thursdays.
So the box truck's not using the receiving dock.
Correct, that would be a lift gate, they could pull straight ahead, drop it down, and then that's where they would then wheel everything in and go through the normal kind of flow.
You're using the same
As a donor would.
as the
Yep.
people who are using the store.
I wouldn't say people, but our team would be using that door to get the donation. It would be the same process as us receiving a donation if you pulled up.
But there's also sales,
The
right?
door.
What's that?
There's sales in the store as well?
Yeah, how do shoppers use the entranceway then?
Again, all that would be done before we even open for the public.
Oh.
We do all of our deliveries between 8 and 8:30 in the morning.
If you were standing in front of that store, the left door, as we know it, would probably be for your customers.
The right door would be for your personnel and drop off.
Okay, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, again, this is exactly when it comes to docks or box trucks. It's how Tops and P&C before it took its box truck delivery, exactly the same way. But they did it while customers were at the store and shopping at the store, not before hours. It was happening simultaneously.
You spent
So this-
some time at Tops, huh?
Well, you know, I do a little bit of everything. So.
Not connected.
So, it's my job to know. Okay, and, you know, aren't you glad that I'm here providing you with that information, rather than saying I don't know, but I do know. And so this operation of goodwill will actually be an improvement, because those deliveries from the box truck will come before the store opens. So there won't be any customer delivery conflicts like there were with Tops.
So let's talk about improvement. I'm not aware of any businesses in that general area that could have inadvertent after-hour drop-offs. And I think that's a large concern to the board.
Okay.
I also think if you're saying all of these drop-offs take place at 8 to 8:30, that's also a very busy time for the adjacent school. So you're saying that
It's still different than it has been forever, for as long as this property is, I fail to understand the concern where this is a reuse of an existing facility that's been operated with a more intense use for more than 46 years. Okay, it's not brand new.
Mark,
So
we're asking questions, we're just trying to understand how it's working, we're not looking back at Tops, we're looking at what you're proposing, in all fairness.
we're proposing the same thing that essentially that's been there forever. That's what's been
I have a
being
question.
proposed.
Can you give us like a little bit more of a sense of how the from your experience with other Goodwills, the drop off kind of flow from the customer or donor standpoint? Like how many people, what's the max number of people that are ever there? Do you have like?
We're working on pulling that data now.
Okay.
I, again, tried to, just with this, try to rush it all together here.
Yeah.
And I'm still reviewing all the data that my team rolled up, but again, with our AI cameras, it's easy to pull, just reviewing the data. I got some initial reports, but just didn't have a second to.
Okay, it'd be interesting to know like high times, low times, like max traffic.
I mean, I can
Density on the site. just
Yeah, I
in
can
general.
compare them, but again, we went for a site planning committee meeting in Chi-Li, New York. And I pulled them all for that for Rochester area stores, but again, to be fair, or apples to apples. I'd like to pull the Syracuse-based locations just to give a better.
That feels like the one thing that's pretty different here.
Yeah,
But
and I also feel that if we were looking at this the first time, similar to what we're doing right now, we would be talking about how you're showing these cars lining up to drop stuff off and then pull away, and it's crossing the traffic pattern of people entering the store. And we have that conversation quite a bit here, like at the main entrance, also making it something where cars are doing something, taking off, doing, so it just looks like a pedestrian hazard right there a little bit,
Yeah, and that's where, again, feedback we've gotten in the past is, well, what if we designate kind of like I go to Texas Roadhouse, you pull up, you got a Texas number when you're there. But that's where then you're asking me to roll equipment, not that that's what's being asked right now. But
Now your
rolling-
employees are-
Now my employees are rolling across, and so that's why, again, we have over 600,000 square feet of spaces. This model works for us. In terms of managing it, I can't emphasize enough, we have 2 or 3 FTEs. They're solely dedicated to keeping this thing moving and keeping it safe. And that's where, in terms of people entering and exiting, the store and or donating, I think I'll pull the data on that just to show kind of, how many shoppers we're getting per se.
Yeah, because I feel like your other locations, where that happens is not the same as the primary entrance.
Correct.
Which really alleviates a lot of conflict. I think
Yeah.
the site will have to deal with that
Yeah.
in a different way than what your typical model is, potentially, depending on what that is gonna look like.
Yep.
And so I have never done a Dropbox. So back to her question again, could you give a little more detail of what the Dropbox is? Do they ask any questions about what the goods are, or do they just take the box and run?
You could pull up, I don't know what type of vehicle you drive, but if you pull up, pop your trunk and just say, take everything that's in my trunk, the team will take everything that's in your trunk. If it's more so, again, you'd like to say, hey, I only want you to take the 2 or 3 cardboard boxes, they'll take the 2 or 3 cardboard boxes. You just gotta roll down your window and they'll service you right there at the vehicle, whether you put in your passenger seat, second row seat, trunk. You roll down your window, you tell them what you need to have happen, and again, they'll take care of it for you. It's all about convenience for the.
What's the average time when somebody's there?
Again, I have them for Rochester. I want to run the
For
data.
Rochester, will you just tell me the number? Just number, like how long it takes you to service a customer?
75 seconds.
But wouldn't it depend on how many goods they have? Because I drop off at Salvation Army.
It's an average. I mean, I can go hour by hour, the number of people. Again, I can get very granular with my data. But on an average, it's about 75 seconds, and that's at Eastview Mall. Eastview Mall gets millions of visitors a year. But again, I wanted to be apples to apples and pull the on a dollar to grocery store data.
But the only one point I wanted to make is when you drop them off at Salvation Army, that is not the entrance to the store for people shopping. Because you've got cars lined up there, always dropping off goods.
I haven't donated Salvation Army, but did they have employees dedicated, I guess, to that operation? I feel like I've just been where you pull up and, okay. I'd have to go take a look at that.
I mean, there's just a concern about people coming into the store to shop. And you've got cars right in the front at the same door.
Yeah, for a grocery store, that entrance model works because that's your shopping for groceries. But this is a different flow, circulation flow. So.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? We just threw this together, but what if just speaking offhand here, I don't know, I'll switch over here. So Marco, you could see this, but we could also maybe even reverse the traffic flow, right? They pull in here, that way the cars are going this way. Again, they'd have to be mindful of the customers crossing. But then they could exit through Jamesville Road at that point.
Cross through traffic. Yeah.
It's supposed to be one way.
But you still got the same problem with the entrance and the drop off is the same.
Yeah.
Well, the cars will be going, I guess, they're not leaving at
Stacking in
that
front of
point.
the door,
Right.
you know, that brings up more issues because you're stacking in front of the door then and.
Or over here.
About the stacking, because where you're showing the stacking right now is in like a striped off area that's adjacent to residential houses, so. How would that work and what kind of buffering are you looking at? Anything additional to what's there? Are you planning to keep fence that's there?
Yeah, we would keep everything as is at this point in time.
I mean, if that's what would make you comfortable, some additional buffering, it's something that I would listen to.
We'd like to see the fence stay.
Well, which fence?
The fence on your property that buffers the residential, right
That-
behind it. Right about where the striping is. There's a stripe.
Yes, that white vinyl fence is planning to stay.
This here.
Yes,
There's a
yes,
6 foot high vinyl fence, Marco. We're
Wow.
planning to keep. Yes.
Right, it'll stay. As far as this section that's running north and south, that may be relocated closer to the property line, but
but not taken down.
correct.
And so if, what do you call it when the truck comes and goes?
Just
Drop and-
delivery.
Drop and drip.
Oh, the drop and hook.
Drop it.
So if you do the drop and hook, is there gonna be like a designated area for the dropping and hooking?
Again, yeah, we just started throwing up, all this together, but I'm assuming, we could keep it as far back as possible from the building. Enough customer parking at that point in time. Again, I don't drive tractor trailers for a living, but I'm assuming they would like keep as much turning radius as possible. So that's why I'm suggesting probably somewhere back here, maybe over here, but again, we would do the flow study.
We talked about that this morning with the design team. They're gonna put together a plan that shows the sequencing of the dropping and backing into the loading area. So on a plan, so that'll be clear to everybody.
Because you could have customers to the store coming in from Jamesville Road as well.
All happens before they show up.
Okay.
Is that on the existing parking lot or are you taking away parking spaces for that?
For the staging.
Yes.
Oh, we can put it in the drive-up. I mean, the site is what it is. I think it's important, and I know you're only asking questions, but I'm trying to supply information as well. It's important to note that a grocery store of this size probably ran about 60 to 70 trips per week. What Goodwill is proposing is a significant reduction. We'll be providing a report to the board from Gordon Stansberry. I'm sure all of you are familiar who he is. He's about as reputable as they come, and he's already prepared a draft. And unfortunately, I didn't have it for tonight. He had a family emergency that he couldn't complete it, but we'll be providing that, and it'll go a long way, I'm sure, when you read it. The difference in truck deliveries from the prior historical uses to this one.
The three parallel spots there with the, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's currently fire lane. No?
I believe Josh.
No, it is. It's only striped off from one of the variances back in the 80s to not allow car headlights to shine into the back of the residential parcels to the south.
Which is why we wanted them all going.
Yeah.
Which one are you referring to?
The three down here. And again, we're showing this as kind of more like a worst case scenario. Ideally, the cars are limited kind of to 2 or 3 cars at most stacking at any time.
Yeah, again,
Joshua was right. That area was proposed originally back in 1980 as parking. Penn Traffic at the time, acquiesced to the board's request to eliminate those parking spots. So as Josh said, the lights would shine in the back of those houses.
Property.
Are those striped parking spots for those 3 cars?
No, not currently.
They're not.
I mean, for them, under their proposal.
No, we are not. No, we're not planning to restripe the parking lot in that area.
Parking lot where those 3 cars are.
That's what I was kind of asking.
The site will remain exactly the way it is today.
Does that fly in the face of our parallel parking?
Well, I don't think that's proposed parking. I think that's just a queuing area for any extra cars that are doing drop off.
Yeah, that's just a show worst case scenario. My average is 1.9 vehicles in a queue.
It's just stacking in the queue for drop off.
Yeah.
So where is the fire
Right,
lane? Can you make sure that's noted on the plans? The fire lane, like the.
We'll review the what we have and establish the park or the fire lane for the next meeting. Yes.
To that point, the 2 cars in front of the entrance are typically a fire lane, which typically does not have any standing or parking.
They can do more plans to the rest of the review.
Yeah, it sounds like this is what's being developed to share with the rest of the board. So we'll look to review that. Is there anything else about the site improvements that you want to brief us on?
There are no proposed site improvements.
There's no equipment going on the roof.
Question.
Well, yeah, yes.
Could you say that again?
There's no equipment on the roof.
Yeah, the original approvals from 1980 dedicated a spot on the roof where the rooftop units would have to be located. We'll be replacing some of those in exactly the same spot they are today, or within that designated area behind existing and previously approved screening. So there would be, you're probably referring to the old, building permit plans. There were
No,
some.
we just saw there was new equipment, so I just wanted you to clarify that it's in
Well,
existing.
isn't one of the-
Area.
Well, that should have showed, I just noticed that.
I think it was on the, yeah, the permit plans. that
It was on the permit plans, yes, that should be that should be designated here, yes, it will, that'll happen. But it'll be in the same spot behind the same screen.
Can we just get like cut sheets of the height or whatever? Just, I don't know much about HVAC, but I don't know the current height of the HVAC,
Versus the current height
Yeah.
of screening.
Yeah.
That's a fair question,
Yeah, we'll have the cut sheets for the HVAC units at the next meeting.
Because the permitted screening previously would have hidden the units.
Right.
Correct.
Units in which are not hidden that violate.
I don't know if they make 20-foot tall.
I don't, but if they put in new units that are higher than the permitted fencing, then that is violation of that.
But we'll address that, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Can I just ask a quick question? You were saying that you were talking about Goodwill does community programming, et cetera. Is that someplace else that's not here? Was that just a general comment, or you're doing programs here?
So that would be the goal here. That's what these stores support is, and why this area is important to us, is seeing how many individuals within Onondaga County and surrounding areas could benefit from our Goodwill Learning Academy. That's a big thing about, you know, at the end of the day, working at Goodwill and being more than a store is what we're doing for the community. And so that's where, yeah, whether it's 211, the 988 suicide prevention hotline. We also have a vision services team, which provides rehabilitation, teaching, equipment, and technology to individuals. And then the Goodwill Learning Academy, we've recently had 12 graduates in the last 6 months. It's been on our local news back in Rochester a few times for that, but.
You would hold classes in this building?
No.
That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
understand, sorry.
Yeah, I asked that same question of Jack. All of those missions occur off-site.
Correct.
Okay.
One thing that you've said is that it's a much less intense use. Is there any thought to reducing the parking field on this property?
No,
Why?
because parking's valuable. Well, what did you have in mind?
I don't have anything in mind. I'm just reacting.
In mind.
I don't, because I don't design. I just had a question, because you're saying it's much less intense. So my question is there?
Well, I mean,
reduce
in 10 years, it may be somebody else who needs that parking.
We do it, we ask that quite often, just because
We're trying to right size it.
right sizing, permeability,
I've been
green
there,
space.
yeah, I've been there 2 or 3 times. The businesses across the road, this whole area, we're losing to everybody parking here and walking across the road.
I mean, you may also need the space to deal with the conflict between vehicles dropping
Yeah.
off things and people trying to go into the same place. This, you may need a creative solution that requires some of the spaces that are.
That's true. Yeah.
I feel like cars have gotten bigger in the last, how long do you keep saying? 50 years? And so are the turning radiuses in this parking lot, up to date? Like, do they meet the current codes, or are you not touching it just so it doesn't have to be updated? I only wonder because, like, I know I've tried to get out of there before, because I have gone to Tops like twice since I moved to do it. And it was a little crazy, that exit entrance there.
What was the question? What was the question?
Are the turning radiuses in the parking lot to current code, or no? like the sizes of the parking spaces and the islands and the,
Oh.
you know?
I think he said it was the SWBR was gonna put turning radiuses on the
Yeah,
plans.
and the size of the parking spots and stuff. I don't know.
The size of each stall, or at least typical, is on the plan. Okay, I don't know if the design guys,
What are the size of the spots?
what are they, Josh?
They're 9 by 18.
What's your color?
9.5 by 19.
And all the existing radiuses that we have are on our site plan.
Mhm.
Do you have shopping carts?
Yes.
Shopping carts out in the parking field? Is that part of the business model?
Again, I got or Goodwill has 2 or 3 full-time employees, whether they're accepting donations or keeping the carts. I believe there was a cart corral still from when Tops was there, but again, Tops had carts as well. So, but difference is we got 2 or 3 people who are dedicated to keeping all this clean and moving. Where I can't speak the same for Tops.
The corrals are gone. That Tops had. You don't have corrals, right?
I thought there was one up under the overhang the last time I was there,
I
maybe,
was
but
referring to the ones in the parking lot.
yeah.
And then other things out, I guess, out on the site, do you have donation boxes? Nothing.
Nope.
And then, in terms of dumpsters and, just a quantity of.
No dumpsters, 1 compactor on the existing compactor pad.
So that's going away, you're saying?
No, there's no dumpster, well, I guess when you say dumpsters, I think open top.
Yeah.
Sort of, we just would reuse the existing compactor pad. Everything is still there. We put a 40-yard or 30-yard or whatever fits back there.
Mhm.
That's how we handle all of our trash, but no, there would be no open tops, I guess, placed somewhere on the property.
Did Tops have a dumpster back there?
Well, yeah, it was an existing compactor area. I'm just assuming they most likely used it. There's a bunch of pallets and things of other stuff back there.
That's been cleaned.
Okay, perfect.
Can we talk about your light fixtures? Are you proposing any new lighting? Are your existing lights dark sky compliant?
Inside the store or outside?
Outside the parking lot or wall packs?
We're not proposing any new lights at this time. I can't speak to if the current fixtures are dark sky compliant, or we don't have any documentation on those.
Okay. If you could find out, generally, when we look at site plans, we try to update light fixtures to make sure they are dark sky compliant.
They're relatively new. We'll get the cut sheet.
If you have cut sheets, you can.
We'll get the cut sheets. They are LED.
But we do have an ordinance on the time of operations based off of your operation, so that's gotta be updated.
I'm sorry, I didn't follow you.
The operation of the lights, the timing of the lights relative to your operations, there are in our ordinance.
What is it? What's it say?
It's on our website, take a look at it.
You don't have it memorized?
It's your job to know.
It's just sitting in.
Touche.
Yeah,
But
if you could get us cut sheets, that would be great.
I don't know how challenging that will be, because from what I understand, we've done some research on these lights the best we could. And we know they're LED, but I do not believe, don't quote me on this, we're still doing the research, that they're available. They're not made in. So we're gonna have to do the best we can on providing you with
Unless the manufacturer is out of business, the light is gonna have a nameplate on it. The manufacturer will have.
You must be a mind reader, because we're gonna send a crew out there with a lift.
That's what I do for.
We took lifts and lights.
Mind reading.
Mind reading.
There are times I'm sitting here, I hope you're not reading my mind. You wouldn't let, it wouldn't be pretty. But we're gonna get a lift. We tried to take photographs of the tag, but we couldn't read them from the pictures. It's a 3-foot base with a 24-foot light. So we're gonna send a crew out there with a lift and get a close-up photograph of the tag, and then we'll look at I don't want to reverse engineer every design detail here, but that's something that we're gonna try to do.
I think we're talking about compliance as opposed to reverse engineering.
Well, okay, your definition of compliance may be a little bit different than mine, but let's not go there. We're gonna get all of the information that we can about those lights.
New sign,
Yes.
Signage.
signage.
I'm sharing your
What's the new fascia that they have pointed out is existing? It looks so dark that it looks new.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't quite hear you.
No, the metal siding looked new in your drawing because it was so dark.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, everything on the facade is existing to remain. The only new piece is the addition of the Goodwill sign and logo.
No signage is proposed to direct traffic around the site.
We generally use A-frame signs just so that way they can be removed, placed at the beginning of the day, end of day, things of that nature. Just trying to keep the site as clean as we can.
So we have a directional signage part of our code under the sign guidelines that with requirements for directional signage.
We can happily work on that, Josh.
Yeah, that's a part of the site plan.
Yep.
Anything else that you want to speak to?
Feel like we've covered.
Yeah, well, it's been a good conversation.
So I put it going down, so.
You didn't know you'd be under the spotlight.
I had a funny feeling, but it's not the first time, but no, you just appreciate the opportunity and welcome all the feedback, and we'll get you everything we talked about here.
Awesome, thank you.
Can we talk about the process at all?
Well, I mean, it sounds like there's things they're still going to do. I know that I believe there's some members of the public here and also online. And, certainly there should be a public hearing, but
yeah, I think
the question is when.
The discussion amongst the board is that, I think this is important to have public feedback. It's adjacent to a neighborhood, directly adjacent to the site. And I think there'd be quite a bit of feedback. So we normally call for a public meeting. I guess the question is do we have enough information at this point in time and we'll have enough information and time to react to at the public meeting? My sense is, I did learn quite a bit tonight about operations and the site. It was very, very helpful, so thank you. There's still more information that you're working on to get to us. What's your timeline for submitting additional information that you talked about tonight?
I'm gonna defer to Mr. Greenaker and on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I will obviously look to capture anything talked about here, but I think we're looking to submit as early as possible. I don't think we're going to target for next meeting. I think we try to target for probably the end of March, potentially for any additional submissions.
Well, you know what? I need to talk to them. I'll talk to them online. My goal would be to provide you this additional information next week. So let me talk to the design professionals about their timing.
So, when it comes in, I think it'd be better to have more information, obviously, for the public hearing. So
Jamie, let me ask you a question. What about county plan? Has that been submitted to county plan?
No, because we're waiting to see what information we're going to have. We like to submit it when there's enough information. So again, I think once we get your next submission.
Well, we
then submit it.
also talk about subdivision, your parking lots made up of several lots, and we talked about
Another mind reader.
re-subdivision. So generally with the county referral, we would wait until we have applications for all of the actions that are being
Well,
proposed.
we're not intending to make any application regarding the consolidation. It's been operating like that for years. 45 years, 50 years. And now you want to change it?
Our town code does not allow you to have more than 50% off-site parking.
It didn't allow it when Tops was there.
Well, that was pre-existing non-conforming.
So how is this still not pre-existing non-conforming then?
I think we'll have to look at that question, but right now you're saying you don't think you need to do re-subdivision?
If you want to do it, go ahead. I
Or-
don't know if I need to make an application for that.
Well,
I mean, is it an issue? Is it an
the
issue?
planning board doesn't do applications, right?
Go ahead and consolidate. It's an administrative task. It's a stroke of a pen.
Okay.
Do you prefer to clean that up?
Right
You
now,
do?
that is something that is on the table, yes, to clean that up. And also there's an issue with some of those lots not being zoned appropriately, so we think we need to clean that up. That's the thought process right now.
If the goal here is to clean up, I'm all in. But it's a cleanup. Otherwise, it's always operated like that, and suddenly now it's becoming a problem. I don't understand it. Tops has been before this board. How many times now? Multiple times. Two of which were very recent, one in 2010 and one in 2012, with reworking the parking lot in some immaterial ways. They required site plan approval from this board. Never did that come up.
So
So
we'll take that under advisement. But now that this is the first time, like I said, this is here, so we'll look at all those issues.
yeah, I mean, if it's a matter of cleaning up, why wouldn't we want to do that, right? I'm surprised that this wasn't brought up before while Tops was there.
I think that you have a lot of new board members here since then.
The approvals are the same. They're still valid. They don't
I think the
they don't turn
questions come
over
up-
when there's a new board.
I think the questions come up differently. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I
different
don't.
people have different interpretations and different people have different knowledge levels to ask the questions.
Did you get that on the record? Thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna wait for this additional information. We're gonna table this. I think I definitely see a work session in our future for this project, just to talk through the issues, once you've got the updates. And I think at the next meeting, hopefully we'll be prepared to call for a public meeting.
Yeah, and then the legal issues that we'll take under advisement now that we've heard this. So, this board doesn't determine the legal issues. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
So what's the schedule with Onondaga County Planning? I'm just trying to understand, because there's always some lag time between their submission deadlines, their meeting dates. So if we provide you with more information next week, when would be the next Onondaga County Board meeting? Do you have that? Andy?
I mean, I would have to look it up. I don't know if you have it right there, Andy, but
I've got it. So their next meeting is 11.
But what's the
Oh,
submittal
the
date?
deadline is tomorrow, so you're
So
not.
they're not gonna make that.
April 1st.
So April 1st is the next
We'll
meeting,
be meeting with a deadline of March 20th.
March 20th, okay. So we're not going anywhere without that. So we'll make sure we'll get the updated information and plans to you right away, so at least we can have a workshop.
Yes.
And you can come back, right?
Sure.
Do you do the workshop meetings like this?
The workshop meetings are on Tuesday mornings, so in person or virtually.
Okay, because Jack.
I'm sorry, not every Tuesday morning, it's the.
Tuesday before.
Yes.
Because Jack comes in from Rochester, so he could participate remotely.
Absolutely.
Even at the workshop meetings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So the submission for you guys, if we wanted to be on for March 26th, would be March 12th, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if we got it to you by March 12th, that would give you time to get it to the county planning board before their April meeting?
Potentially, yes. But we'll have to look at it and see what,
I'm
you know,
just,
yeah,
right.
potentially.
Okay. Okay, then we're gonna table this project for the next meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Appreciate you guys.
So next meeting or March 26th?
March 26th.
March 26th. For the next meeting is part of this cycle.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
it could be a workshop meeting, not a, so we'll talk once we get stuff in.
Okay, all right, okay, great, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I will just.
I did say that our plan, you don't schedule for anything. At the next, we get information. Yes, oh, don't worry.
So I think that adjourns our meeting. Do we have any motion to close the meeting? Kathy and Bill, all in favor? Aye, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Yep.